Welcome to my weekday morning routine for the summer of 2023. Wow, I get up early. 5:30 is when I start the day, only because that is when my husband gets up for work. I am not a morning person at all, but I am trying to be the best wife that I can be. I get up with him. I take care of his breakfast. I pack up his lunch while he gets ready for the day, and this is just something that's worked really well for us. It makes him feel loved and cared for and appreciated, and it's also just practical help for him so he doesn't have to get up as early to nourish himself. So I love doing this for him. And you'll notice I have quite a bit of food out. I actually am doing a double portion because I'm making myself some breakfast as well. His breakfast looks the same pretty much every morning. It's some mixture of a breakfast meat, whether that be bacon or sausage or leftover taco meat, and then eggs scrambled up with cheese, and then I'll either throw that into a homemade tortilla with hot sauce or a homemade bagel with some cream cheese, just depending on whatever I made in bulk that week. My husband has to be at work very early in the morning, so he doesn't even have time to sit down and enjoy his breakfast, so I wrap it up for him in a little to-go container so he can either eat it on the road or eat it when he gets to his desk. And then I start on his coffee. He does like to have his coffee first thing in the morning, so as soon as it's done, he starts drinking it and he drinks it all the way to work. So because of that, he's drinking coffee without food in his stomach. We do put MCT and butter in his coffee just to make it a little bit more nutritious and easier on the digestive system without anything else in his stomach. If anyone is interested in the measurements and all of the products that we use for our coffee, a lot of that you can find on my Amazon storefront, but if you're looking for like the specific measurements and the method and things like that, just comment down below and I can share that more in depth. This is like a very particular way to make coffee, I guess you could say, but it is super, super yummy, and it's Zachary's little daily treat. Like I said, I also pack up his lunch for him, so usually we have leftovers from the night before in a container all ready to go, and then I pack up an apple, some grapes, maybe some berries, whatever fruit we have on hand at the time, and I throw all of that into his lunchbox for him. Once he is left for the morning, it is now about 6 a.m. I scarf down the food that I made for myself. I don't eat too much, but a little something to keep me going, and then I actually get ready to go do a workout. Because the summers are so hot here, you cannot work outside if it's any later than literally 7 a.m. So that's why I do this as soon as he leaves for the day. Just going on a walk, a little bit of a jog, and this morning was so insanely gorgeous. It was the first time in a long time that the temperature had dipped for this season, and it was just so beautiful. I absolutely loved this walk. And there's also just something about getting out in nature first thing in the morning, listening to worship music, just having prayer, just being with the Lord first thing in the morning out in nature. Something so calming about it. By the time I get home, it's about 6:45 to 7, depending on how long I spent on my walk. And the next thing I like to do is cover just like a couple quick chores that need to be done first thing, which would be making the bed, cleaning up the dog's toys if he has any. He's like a toddler. And then I get my shower for the day because now I'm stinky and sweaty and I want to feel nice and cleaned up for the day. I feel a lot more productive if I actually put in, those 15-20 minutes to myself in the morning, even if I'm not going anywhere or no one's going to see me in public. It's just really nice to know that you spent those few minutes and made yourself be put together as possible. So I took a quick shower. I'm throwing on just a tad of makeup. I love Adele Natural Cosmetics. That's the makeup that I'm using. So I have their cream blush, their cream highlight, and I think that's all I put on this day. Maybe a little bit of like a dry powder as well. So once I'm all ready for the day, I like to start tackling my daily chores. These are my Tuesday chores, happen to be a Tuesday on this day. I like to get these going because Tuesday is laundry, and laundry can be quite a long process if you've got multiple loads or you're getting distracted. So I like to get on top of my chores first thing in the morning. By now it's probably about 7:30, so I'm throwing this first load of clothes in, and then I'll go ahead and get started on some other chores. I do chores every single day, no matter the day. It just makes it a lot easier to keep things under control in the house and to never make it feel overwhelming. If I leave everything for 1 or 2 days of the week, those 1 or 2 days seem so overwhelming and just so jam-packed with chores. I've noticed that breaking it up into just a few things every day makes it so much easier to handle. Just feeding the dog. It's so funny. Most people will feed their dog first thing in the morning because, they want to eat. Spike is not the same. Spike is too tired in the morning to do anything except lay around. So that's why I wait until I've done a few things until I feed him, or he will not eat. And then I get back to my chores. Tuesdays are doing the clothes, wiping down the entryway and the living room. So that's what I'm doing here. Again, just doing a few things every single day to keep the house always relatively clean and in order.
My friend nostalgia, I found you.
Once I've got the longer chores started and some of those quicker chores done, I usually start to get a bit hungry. I want to say it's about 8:39 at this point, and I make myself a second breakfast. Breakfast is absolutely my favorite meal of the day. I could eat it for every single meal, and so I have no problem having it twice a day. Usually I will do something with scrambled eggs with cheese and then something else on the side, whether that be fruit, a bagel, toast. This morning it happened to be a leftover piece of chocolate chip banana bread. And once I've had my second breakfast, I go ahead and swap over the laundry again. and then tackle cleaning up the kitchen. I do not like cleaning up the kitchen at all, and that's why I force myself to do it as soon as I've had my second breakfast meal, so that the kitchen is nice and sparkling clean until I'm ready to cook lunch. Now, although my daily chores are pretty much done by this point, I also have a separate list I like to keep of monthly chores. So on this day in particular, actually this is a quarterly chore, but I always try to do maybe one, sometimes two of my monthly or quarterly chores each day so they don't stack up on me by the end of the month. So on this day, I decided to go ahead and swap out our air filters because it was time. So this is obviously not something I'm doing every day or even every week, but it just happened to need to be done on this day. So I filmed it for you. Now by this point, I'm getting tired. I need to sit down and do something less physical and more maybe mind stretching. So I like to sit down at my computer and catch up on anything that needs to be done. On this particular day, I was making a few edits on a YouTube video and making sure everything was clear to post it. And then I like to make my coffee. Like I said, I'm usually pretty tired by this point in the morning because I've just been going nonstop since I opened up my eyes. So I like to go ahead and have my coffee around 9:30, 10 to keep me going through the rest of the day. Right now, I'm hooked on the sweetened condensed milk in my coffee. I believe this is called a Vietnamese iced coffee. It's literally iced coffee, milk of your choice, and some sweetened condensed milk. It's so yummy. And then I take my coffee and I sit down to do my Bible study.
I've been hearing songs since I came along on radio and TV, but this one song when it came on felt like it was just for me.
My Bible study, or also known as maybe quiet time, is arguably the most important part of every single day for me. I'm a Christian woman and I just find it so important to dedicate time out of my day every single day to just sit with the Lord, sit with God's word, communicate through prayer, reading the word, studying what his word says. And so that's what I'm doing here. I do this every single day. It doesn't always happen in the morning like I want it to, but I do make sure that this happens at some point during the day. You'll notice I'm flipping through a notebook and flipping through the scriptures. This is one of my favorite ways to dive deeper into Sunday's sermon. So every Sunday we go to church and I love to take notes during church, and then throughout the week I like to go back over those notes and do more of an in-depth study of whatever pastor taught that morning.
First time.
Depending on the day, my Bible study can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. It really just depends on what I'm studying, how I'm feeling, what I feel like the Lord is drawing me to. And so that is definitely a big time range. So once I'm done with my Bible study, if I'm completely done with my chores as well, I like to go ahead and get started on a little artsy project. I've been very, very into arts and crafts right now, especially needlework. So I have 2 projects going on right now. One is a cross stitch and the other is an embroider, which I've never done before. Spoiler alert, by the time this video is out, it is done and it is gorgeous. It was actually a gift from my mom. But I like to spend that last little bit of my morning just relaxing and doing something creative before I head into the afternoon. So that is my morning routine for the summer of 2023. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!